Hi, and welcome to my exercise application video number 31, I believe. I'm just leaving the gym and I want to talk a little bit again about adaptations to resistance training. And today I want to talk about specifically what's happening when I say things like we're adding sarcomeres, we're having hypertrophy. What's actually causing that to happen? It's mTOR, but let's get more into that. So today when I was lifting weights and I did arms, I know I always use bench press as an example, but it's the first that comes to mind. Right, what will we use? A tricep extension, right? So as you're doing a tricep pull down, you are stressing your tricep, and you have mechanoreceptors in your muscle cells, so they sense tension in your muscle. So as I'm putting that load on my tricep, my mechanoreceptors are saying, hey, something's going on. And so what happens is actually it then begins to activate lots of other genetic transcription factors and various things in the body, hormonal things, that eventually activate mTOR, which is kind of our master genetic factor for hypertrophy. So my tricep is getting that load, my mechanoreceptors sense that, and then they actually cause phosphatidic acid to increase, which helps activate mTOR. And additionally, we have something called REB and something called EK or something like that. It is activated, which then inhibits the thing that inhibits REB, because REB at kind of a resting state is being inhibited. So by activating the ERK, we're actually able to block that inhibiting factor, which allows us to activate REB and thus activate our mTOR, right? So we have that phosphatidic acid, that REB, all because of the stress in our mechanoreceptors. And so then as I actually, again, I'm doing those movements, my mTOR is being activated, okay? So that's where we're getting the increased hypertrophy. We're seeing more proteins, more sarcolemma, more sarcomeres, which is allowing us to have that hypertrophy. And the other thing we see is satellite cells. So in our little muscle cells, we have satellite cells that act as stem cells or dedifferentiated cells. And so as we exercise and we're growing our muscles, we recruit our stem cells in to maintain our myonuclear domain, which is essentially because our muscle cells, right, they're long, they have lots of nuclei because they need to be able to control and coordinate a large area of movement. And we also need those proteins because in our nucleus we have genetic material, DNA can code for proteins equals hypertrophy eventually. So what we do is we take those satellite cells and we bring them in and we differentiate them into nuclei. And so once we have them functioning as nuclei, we get increased genetic material for proteins. We maintain our myonuclear domain for coordination, but we also have more genetic material to create proteins. So everything that happens because of things on a cellular level. And this is just kind of a brief explanation of that.